following podcast may contain spoilers, profanity, and views or opinions that may not be representative of the author's intent of the articles discussed. We don't always take ourselves or the subject matter seriously either. Listener discretion is advised.
The following is a Galactic Network podcast.
Welcome to the Alien Invasion number 239, recorded on Thursday, March 1st, 2018. I'm Dave Nelson, along with Mr. Brad Ludwig. Greetings, Brad.
Hello.
Coming up, two Marvel movie aliens revealed, Sinister Cylinder in Remington, Virginia in the Sightings, and our picks and warnings. Before all that, though, our question.
Dave?
Huh? Dave?
Huh?
Hey, Dave, what's the question?
An alien craft lands in front of you, Dave Nelson.
Okay.
An alien being exits and offers you one of three things. He offers you the gift of scientific knowledge. He offers you the gift of an indestructible item of clothing. Or you have the choice of a gift of a handheld weapon. What would you choose, Dave Nelson?
Oh. A, the first one.
Scientific knowledge?
Yeah, because you could use that the most. I don't want to hurt anybody, so I don't want a weapon, and I don't foresee me needing something indestructible. So I'm going to go with scientific knowledge because I'm sure they know a lot more than we do on this planet because they're the ones gallivanting about the galaxy. So, yeah, I'm going to go with scientific knowledge because I could use that to better our planet, to better mankind, humankind.
Sure. Okay.
What is your answer?
Indestructible item of clothing.
Oh, why? Why?
You've read the news lately, right?
Oh, okay.
And quite honestly, it wouldn't be for me. I'd give it to the boy. So.
Okay. Well, you know what? I figure that if I take the scientific knowledge, maybe I could use that knowledge to stop our trajectory that we're going in right now on Earth. Maybe, step in with drop some knowledge, and steer civilization the right way. I don't know. Yeah,
I'm looking more at the short term, and you're looking at long term. So good on you, sir.
Yeah, but yours would not stop what's eventually maybe going to happen. But
that's very true.
At least you'll be protected. Or,
like I said, I would give it to my boy.
Alex. So. Alex would be protected. Yes.
Theoretically.
All right. Are these aliens? What do they look like? Tell me more about the aliens that just popped in.
This is just a thought experiment. It doesn't matter really what the aliens look like.
All right, just for fun though, what do they look like?
They are amorphous blobs that can shape themselves into anything.
Oh, cool. All right, that would come in handy, because when you go from planet to planet, you could make yourself look like the indigenous species.
Correct.
All right, I hope we evolve into that. That would be neat. Of course,
that would be very interesting.
We won't be around for that, but
yeah,
our progeny will be able to shapeshift.
In the news,
we have Avengers Infinity War coming up, and I have a story related to that movie right here, right now. Last Sunday, that would be February 25th, new Avengers Infinity War promo art was revealed. And it revealed a previously unannounced alien villain, prompting fans to begin speculating on the identity of the antagonist. Now, the Geek Power website may have confirmed the identity of the new foe, who will serve as one of Thanos' underlings. So, the Geek Power states that the mysterious villain is the leader of Thanos' Outriders. The Outriders, who appear to be alien antagonists who attack Wakanda. In the comics, the Outriders are genetically engineered creatures whom Thanos used to find new planets with weak inhabitants that he intended to destroy. Avengers Infinity War. Did I just see something that they changed the release date for that?
They pushed it ahead a week.
Whoa.
So it's no longer May 4th. Usually they release a movie during the same time that Free Comic Book Day happens. Free Comic Book Day happens the first weekend in May.
Mm-hmm.
And that's usually the kickoff to the, coincidentally, the kickoff to the summer movies is that first weekend in May. They're pushing it ahead a week.
That's unusual. They usually go the other way.
Yeah, I didn't read a reason why. And I'm kind of wondering if they're looking to dovetail with the success of Black Panther. It's going to stay on screens longer. They have the potential of owning movie theaters.
Yeah, that's smart. Yeah.
They're going to have Marvel drilled into their heads when they go into the movie theaters.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that may be why they... Pure speculation on my part, but that seems to make sense.
I'd like to find out what other movies are being released on those weekends. Either May 4th or the new date, because that may be a factor as well.
Now, let me take a look at...
Yeah, I was hoping that you would research that for us.
So... There's no real competition.
Okay. All right.
They push it ahead to the same week that Animal Crackers, which...
Oh, boy, they're in trouble.
Oh, that is a 3D animated film.
I don't know how they'll compete with that.
Yeah. I don't know who's doing that, but whatever.
What was on the May 4th?
They owned it. Nobody was going to release a movie May 4th. Oh, I'm sorry. No, The Guardians was the other one.
Okay.
And there is no information on The Guardians listed for the Movie Insider.
Okay. All right. So maybe your theory is right.
Yeah, Selfie Dad, Kings, Armed, Bad Samaritan, Disobedience, Traffic... Oh, the other thing that they might be doing too, that would be smart. Deadpool comes out May 18th.
Okay.
So if they push it ahead a week, the majority of the people are going to go towards the beginning of, towards the opening.
Yeah.
And then they don't want to step on Deadpool's toes. I mean, these were slated before they purchased Marvel, so I'm sure that they're looking to I'm sorry, not before they purchased Marvel, but before they made the acquisition from
20th Century Fox.
Sony, from 20th Century Fox.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yep.
So they're looking to probably not step on those toes. So,
do you know anything about the Outriders?
I had to look this up. They were introduced in a Free Comic Book Day comic in 2013.
Oh, so they're fairly new.
Yes. Okay. That was their first introduction, and then they were used soon after. And they are an engineered race, and they are kind of designed to, hit a planet, learn about it, destroy it, and then move on for the most part. They have kind of interesting powers here in the comics. They've got tactile telepathy, so they can read your mind if they touch you.
Okay.
They have invisibility. They have density control, which allows them to fly and cause physical disruption. To the point of just becoming intangible. So they, like the Vision, can walk through walls. They could do the same type of thing. But that's pretty much it. They have one job, and that's to serve Thanos. That's it.
Man, that must get boring.
And they have 4 arms. They are very creepy looking.
All right.
So they don't have eyes. That's another thing too.
That kind of sucks.
Yeah, they have some other. It doesn't really. I don't see anything here at first glance. They've got tactile. telepathy, but they would have to touch something, so they must have some other kind of sensing organs, or they have exceptional hearing, like a bat, and use like sonar or something. I don't know, but
thank you for the 411 on the Outriders. We have one more MCU piece of news. Human star Gemma Chan. Humans was this show about androids, robots, that was in the UK, and I believe it was also on some other U.S. cable channel. I forget. Anyways, Deadline reports she'll play Minerva, Minnerva, an extraterrestrial geneticist and spy, better known as Dr. Minerva. The character, a member of the Kree alien race, is a definite baddie who regularly goes up against Carol Danvers and her mentor, Mar-Vell.
The reason why I'm laughing is this is such a big middle finger to DC Comics. It's not even funny.
Okay.
I think I mentioned earlier that Captain Marvel originally was a character by Fawcett Comics. DC Comics bought them out and then buried them. They kept them, but they decided not to publish any more stuff with them. And there was a huge court case when Marvel Comics decided to create Captain Marvel like 30 years later, 25, 30 years later. And DC said, hey, wait a second. We've got this character, Captain Marvel. We own that name. And it went to court. And the court sided with Marvel Comics, stating that, you didn't actively pursue using that, that trademarked material. It is, and you had no intention by the testimony given and everything, you had no intention of dusting that off. So sit down, shut up. Marvel's going to take that name. Now, one of the main villains in the Fawcett Comics universe was Dr. Minerva. And he was an evil scientist with like thick Coke bottle glasses and a bald pate, and he just the sinister guy.
I've seen it. I think I've seen pictures of this guy before.
He was usually palled up with Mr. Mind, the little worm with the little radio around his neck that he would speak through. Absolutely ridiculous. But I mean, that is such a big middle finger to DC to call that character Dr. Minerva. I'm sorry, a bit of comic books history, and take it for what it's worth.
No, I look forward, and we haven't done this for a while. We haven't done stories about either comic book movies or sci-fi movies on a few episodes. So it's good to catch up on where we're at in the superhero movie universe. So Jude Law is playing. I didn't know that Mar-Vell was going to be in Captain Marvel.
Yeah, he was the Captain Marvel originally was a man, and he was a Kree warrior who was named Captain Mar-Vell. And many years later, they had the adventures, and many years later, he ended up, and it was like a huge story. He died of cancer. He was saving citizens like a hero does, and he got cancer from it, and there was no way to stop it. So it was like one of the first hero deaths that it wasn't like something that you could stop. It wasn't a bullet. It wasn't a ray. It wasn't, any sinister thing. It was his own body. He got the cancer doing something heroic, and it was a price that he paid. And it was like one of the most impactful stories. And it was a graphic novel that they put out called The Death of Captain Marvel. And it was a big deal.
I think it resonates too, because that's something that people can relate to.
Yeah, absolutely. But it hadn't really been done in comics. No comic book hero died of cancer, for that matter. That was absolutely unheard of. So it was just like really interesting, and it was a good character study of all of these heroes trying to come to terms with this superhero who had done so much for so many, and there was nothing that anybody could do. So it was very impactful, and I have it in my library. So
Okay.
there you go.
Thank you again for that.
So, spoiler for people who are going to watch the movie, Marvel's probably going to die. So there you go.
Or not. He may stick around. They may change that. Who knows? Who else is going to be in the movie? Samuel L. Jackson as Nick Fury, and Rogue One's Ben Mendelsohn. He'll play the lead villain in this film. Are you excited about this? About Captain Marvel?
Absolutely. And I think I was reading some stuff online, like looking up some Easter eggs, maybe some things that I had missed in Black Panther. And one thing that spoiler alert, the character who we met in Civil War, played by Martin Freeman, CIA agent Everett Ross, we find out in Black Panther that he was a pilot, like a top-rated pilot. And there's speculation that Carol Danvers was a pilot for the military, as well as Everett Ross, the way they've set this up. So there might be, crossover there, that Everett Ross served with Carol Danvers in the 90s. So this movie takes place in 92. That's coming out. So it's actually going to be a little back in time, setting up some things.
Now, is she like immortal? Does she?
No, she's not.
Oh, she's not. Okay.
No.
Because I'm wondering, because they were talking.
Carol Danvers is a really complicated character because she got the powers in an odd fashion, and then she was a female version. It was kind of like the Superman Supergirl dynamic. You know what I'm saying? There was a female counterpart, Batman, Batgirl, that same type of thing. And that's what that was. And at a certain point, they decided to strip her of those powers, and then she became a mutant. And then she, they really did a lot of weird things with the Carol Danvers character. And it's not until the past like 10 or 15 years, probably closer to 10, that they've really kind of changed her back to just being Captain Marvel again. Serving in the capacity that she does.
It's going to be neat if they would include a cameo with Ms. Marvel, the girl that will become Ms. Marvel. That would be neat. Kind of
Kamala.
Yeah, Kamala Khan.
Yeah, that would be kind of interesting to see if they do that.
Well, we'll see. I don't know what the release date of this is. Do they have a release date of Captain
I'm
Marvel
sure
yet?
that there is. Give me just a second. March 6th of 2019.
All right, so a year from now, pretty much.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you, Brad. If you have thoughts, feelings, or a strong opinion on the story that we just talked about, email aliens@gncasts.com. That's aliens@gncasts.com, or call our voicemail number. Area code 805-328-3966, 805-328-3966. Thank you for your feedback.
Follow this Galactic Network podcast on Twitter, like our Facebook page, or subscribe to our YouTube channel. Find us by searching for Galactic Network on all the major social networks, or click on the icons at gncast.com.
Please identify the craft you witnessed.
Black, triangular, three-dimensional shape, huge, just flying, hovering minutes.
Shaped like almost like between an egg and like a teardrop.
Two long cylinder objects flying over me.
We had a zone. I could see the occupants in it.
It appeared to be rotating, and it was circular to disc shape, and it hovered for maybe about 5 minutes.
I found something on the newfork.org website.
Oh, Brad, don't you mean New Fork?
Stop it. Curse you, Dave Nelson. No, it's it kind of jumped out at me. This happened February 22nd of this year, so just a little over a week ago from the time of this recording. And it only lasted for 5 seconds. That's what she said. And this took place in Remington, Virginia. Let me give you the rundown. A silver metallic object observed on low-level flight. I was in my backyard, which is open and looks into my neighbor's back pasture at about 1400 hours. There was a bright sunshine with almost no clouds present. I caught sight of a silver object in flight, moving at a high rate of speed across the neighbor's pasture.
Whoa.
Yeah. The object appeared to be bright metallic, silver-colored, and cylinder-shaped. I would estimate the size of the object to be 3 foot tall and 2 foot wide. The vehicle was traveling from south-southeast to north-northwest and appeared to be flying a set altitude from ground level, which would vary according to the topography of the pasture. I was at most 1,000 feet from the object at my initial observation and 75 feet from the object when it disappeared over the neighbor's house and trees. That's pretty close.
Mm-hmm.
There were no discernible markings or features to be seen on the object. No sounds were heard that would have indicated a conventional propulsion system. There were no anomalies noted that could relate to the sighting. Although a short duration observation, I was able to estimate the speed of the object by calculating the distance seen in flight versus the time observation. The vehicle was traveling approximately 250 miles per hour. Now, this sighting occurred the same day as USAF's NORAD was engaging in training exercises in the D.C. area, Falcon Virgo 1805. Okay, I have never seen a New Fork note added to a sighting, and it's one of the reasons why I picked it. And the note that they added, in parentheses, New Fork note, we spoke via telephone with the witness, and he sounded to us to be quite sober-minded and sincere. We suspect that he is an excellent witness, and then it is the initials of the person that contacted the witness. So, yeah. This is probably one of the better, well-written observation I've ever had the pleasure of reading.
Yeah, this guy either knows a lot about aviation or is in the military, because he's using 1400, using military time. The other thing I'm thinking, and I could see that, but I'm thinking based on the he's making calculations here. Yeah,
he could be sciencey at some level.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Interesting. I'm thinking this is a drone of some kind, because it's very small, 3 feet tall, 2 feet wide.
With the last line that he writes with the NORAD exercises, and the U.S. Air Force is involved, I kind of wonder if that's not a drone of some sort.
Either that, or it is an alien craft, but they're tiny, tiny extraterrestrials.
You remember that story from long ago from Weekly World News about the aliens that lived inside the heads?
Yeah.
It kind of reminded me of, what was it, in Men in Black, the first movie?
Yeah.
They're in the place eating the pierogi and the little tiny aliens inside the dude's, that basically it's a vehicle that looks like a dude in his head. So it could be one of those aliens.
There was a TV show that was on recently that was about government officials. They all had aliens in their heads, which would make a lot of sense.
It's, I wouldn't be surprised at this point. I really wouldn't.
All right. So, hey, we always say this. I always say this. It's great that we get these sighting reports from sources such as New Fork and MUFON. But we would love if you had a sighting of any kind, and we've had listener sightings before. We'd love to get them from you so we could talk about it on the podcast. So email aliens@gncasts.com, aliens@gncasts.com, or leave a voice message 805-328-3966. 805-328-3966. How does that go?
The galaxy far, far away feels closer now than ever before, and your guides through this galaxy are ready to help. I'm Zach Hagenbusher, one half of the new Jedi Archives podcast with Ben Schultz. Join us every other Tuesday for our experiences with the Star Wars saga, from the core films that we know and love, well, you know, some of them, to the annals of history and the works that shaped Star Wars into what we know it as today. Just jump in wherever you'd like. Download an episode of the new Jedi Archives today.
Let's do our picks and warnings, shall we?
Watching, reading, playing, listening,
Making.
Okay, let's talk about something that is related to aliens or extraterrestrials in some way. I'm talking entertainment. You know, books, video games, movies, TV shows, what have you. And it's my turn this week to tell you about something that I enjoyed. And it is the movie The Fifth Wave. The movie version of the book, The Fifth Wave. I read the book, and I believe I used it as a pick a long, long time ago.
Yes, you did.
Yeah. But this time, it's the movie, The Fifth Wave. And my wife and I kind of forgot that it was out, and it was on Netflix. So we watched it last weekend. And if you're wondering what The Fifth Wave means, it's different ways that these aliens were trying to defeat humanity. And the first one is Lights Out. It was kind of like a massive EM strike that cut the power to things. The second wave was they launched like asteroids into the ocean to create tsunamis. That was the second wave. Third wave was a disease that killed humans. And the fourth wave was the aliens would occupy human beings, or they would look like human beings. That was the fourth wave. And then the fifth wave, children, teenagers, finishing off whatever the silencers, that's the name of the aliens that look like humans. They finished off what the silencers couldn't. They were like trained as a military unit. So that's the five waves. I remember the book very well, and watching the movie, it's like pretty much exactly how the book went, with not a whole lot of deviation from the, you know how sometimes they'll take a book and they'll change things. Mm-hmm. This one, they didn't really change it that much. And it basically follows this young girl. She's in high school as the movie starts. The invasion happens. She loses her mother to the disease, but her father stays alive, as well as her younger brother. Their family comes to this like wooded area. It's like an encampment where some other survivors are hanging out. And these aliens disguised as humans in military garb, so they think they're the military. They come and take all the children, because their excuse was like, well, they're important, we should save them first, and then we'll come back for you. Little do they know is the aliens were taking the kids and making them into soldiers. That was the fifth wave. So I forget what happens to the father. I think the father dies, but the daughter, she's trying to make her way to the fort, the military base where the children were taken. And in the meantime, she encounters on the highway a sniper, a shooter, and she gets shot. She kind of blacks out. She wakes up in this house. It's nearby, and it's a person that saved her, basically. So she gets well enough, and she takes off and finds her brother, and that's how the movie ends. Now, there was other books in the series, and I'm not sure, the way young adult novels are going these days in movies, they're not as popular as they used to, so I'm pretty sure they're not going to make the rest of the books into movies.
Sure.
That was kind of a big thing for a while, but it's tapered off. That's just the way trends go. You know, something becomes hot, popular, and then it weans off and something else comes in. So I don't think we'll see movie adaptations of the rest of the book series. But this movie's pretty good. I'm going to give it 3.5 out of 5 flying saucers.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. It's funny. It's the fifth wave. It would have been cool if it would have been great, and I would have given it 5 flying saucers.
5 of 5.
Yeah.
But
Nope.
not to be had.
Nope. 3.5. It was good, but not great. We'll have the link in the show notes to the Amazon link where you could watch it, stream it on your computer. And if you do, a little bit will come back to us because that's how we make some of our money. We don't make a lot of money. We make enough money to afford to keep the lights on, and that's one of the ways that we do it with Amazon links. So please click it, and while you're at it, do some other shopping, and it'll be helping us out as well.
Please subscribe to this Galactic Network podcast by going to gncast.com/subscribe, or search iTunes, Stitcher, Google Play Music, or anywhere podcasts are offered.
That's going to do it for this edition of the Alien Invasion, a Galactic Network podcast. If you'd like to read more about the stories, sightings, and pics that we covered on this episode, click the links in the show notes. We'd like to thank Monkey Warhol for the opening music, a song called Alien Syndrome. He's got a whole bunch of stuff at monkeywarhol.bandcamp.com. Retward van der Berg, he composed the closing theme called Be Water. You can learn more about him and his music at thecaravel.net. Thecaravel.net. I just got an email from him. He's got some new music he wants me to listen to, so I will take a listen and let you guys know on the next episode what it's like.
Nice.
And also thanks to Ben Olson for recording our disclaimer. Oh, sorry. Also thanks to Ben Olson.
Hi, Ben.
For recording our disclaimer audio at the start of the start of the episode, not the start of the Olson. That'd be weird. His website is benolson.com. Before we get out of here, final thought, Bradley.
I just found this story. Shock claim. Humans evolved on another planet and were brought to Earth by aliens.
Oh.
Name that website it came from.
UFO Sightings Daily? No.
Close.
No, weekly. No, one of the British websites, British newspaper websites.
Warm. You're getting warmer.
Okay, just tell me.
Express.co.uk.
Okay, keep that story. We'll talk about it on the next episode.
Excellent.
Thanks for listening, everybody. We'll talk to you next time.
Bye.
That's going to be an edit.
This has been a Galactic Network podcast. For more, go to gncast.com. That's gncast.com.